Welcome back to Strike Fighters 2, our F-105 campaign with Thud driver Curtis Bradley of the 334th Tactical Fighter Squadron out of Tockley. October 5th now, 1965, continuing the trend of one day between missions. I'm sorry I didn't put anything out last week, any videos, but I was feeling a little under the weather. And I actually tried recording a video, and it was one of the rare occasions where this game does crash to desktop. And so I lost what I did, and I was so deflated by that that I could not bring myself to try recording again until now. So we're going to try to get this out this week instead. But in-game, only been one day, and this mission is very similar to what we were going to fly anyways in the other one, so we're just making up for what we lost. But our mission today is to suppress enemy air defense threats around Bac Giang POL storage, attack and destroy enemy radars and air defense positions in the area. So this is an Iron Hand mission, so we'll be flying in ahead of a strike package to help knock out or at least keep busy the AAA defenses around this target until the strike flight can drop its bombs, and then we can all get out. Call sign is Gopher. We'll be flying 4 F-105Ds. Takeoff at 12:49 in the afternoon, and over the target by 1:19, or actually 1:20 if we round up. And that's important because we'll need to get there by that time to make sure that we're ahead of, or at least in the same vicinity as the strike flight. So we have to try to not be behind that. So we may be a little heavy on the throttle today, once again, to try to make sure that we are there on time. Here's the map. Let's see. Here's waypoint 3. This will be our rendezvous just outside of NKP. So this is right on the line of Thailand and Laos. And then we'll proceed over Laos and into North Vietnam. Here's Thud Ridge. So we'll head to the north side of that. Actually, we can move these in maybe just a little bit closer. So north side of the ridge, and then we're down over here to Bac Giang, which is going to be this city here, right here along the Cow River. And so there'll be storage there. So we're going to head in and yeah, try to knock that out. Over to the loadout here. So we're in Gopher 1. Aircraft was 0166 once again. And today we're going to be taking 4 AGM-12 Bullpup missiles. Now, we tried the Bullpups last time in our attack on the train, and they both failed, possibly because of just the missiles failing themselves, but also possibly because I set up the attack poorly. So we're going to go with a 4 AGM missile loadout today. And I actually did an offline mission just to train with these, and I got 8 out of 8 solid hits. So we're gonna try to get, we're gonna try to get some better results today with these missiles. Here's Gopher 2 is also going to have the 12 AGM. I'm sorry, the 2 AGM-12Bs. The interesting thing is the inner pylons are rated for both the Bullpup A and the B missile. This is the AGM-12C, which is confusingly called the Bullpup B, but whatever. But the outer pylon is apparently not rated for it and can only support the Bullpup A. So to make things simple, I'm just going to do the 4 Bullpup A's today, but the B model is significantly heavier because it had a much larger warhead. Once the A was seen to not be very effective against targets, they stepped up the warhead, but that made the missile significantly heavier. And on the F-105s here, it actually basically exceeded the weight rating for the outer pylons, but not the inner ones. So we could potentially take the B models out, but like I said, not today. We'll just stick with the 4As, just to try to showcase the missile and try to redeem ourselves from last time when I made a piss poor attack with the early guided air-to-ground guided missiles. The additional aircraft, Gopher 3 and 4, they're going to have a more traditional loadout, 2 rocket pods, and we're going to take 8 500-pound snake eyes on the inner pylon. So 3 and 4, once we get in close, I'll order them to just engage ground targets on their own. So they will begin suppressing, and as I've mentioned before, for the AIs, their primary attack weapon is going to be the rockets. So they'll always fire the rocket first. So they'll move in with those, and then if they happen to expend them, then they can drop some low-level snake eyes. Here is the roster. My wingman is going to be Second Lieutenant Chuck Lamberry. Leading the second element, First Lieutenant Albert Coe, once again. His condition's pretty high. And Second Lieutenant Wayne Kittinger, whose condition is also high. I'm trying to rotate our pilots through. So actually, Lamberry was assigned to me by the computer, and I didn't change him. So he's a little low at 85% condition. But Coe and Kittinger, they're up in the 90s. So that'll be our team for today. We'll give the other guys a bit of a rest here. You can see Null is actually down a little bit. But that should do it for this briefing. Yeah, I think that's it. So let's get underway and make our way up to Route Pack 6 and try to find ourselves some AAA to knock out today. Okay, we'll see you out there.
Go for 1, tower, wind, 240, at 5. Cleared for takeoff.
All right, cleared for takeoff. Release the brakes on this very rainy day. So the weather has only gotten worse now. We've gone from those overcast days to straight up rain here. There's full afterburner. Airspeed's alive. There's 80 knots. Rotating at 178 today. There we go, liftoff. Gears coming up. As we pass 225-ish, we'll bring the flaps up, maintaining 10 degrees up nose, and we're up into the soup now. This will make things especially difficult, not only for sighting targets, but the heavy moisture of the rain could affect the missiles themselves as well. The high humidity of Vietnam constantly messed with these early tube-driven weapons, and in the days before solid state took over and actually made them more reliable. Something like this, we're just flying straight up through pouring rain. Moisture may get in there, and they may work even less than they normally do. Just coming around. We can't spend too much time marshalling up, so let's get set right to waypoint 3 is actually out to my right. And we're going to get underway and let the wingmen catch up to us along the way. So winging over onto course here. We're a little slow. Now you can see the 4 Bullpups on the pylons out there. We had a takeoff weight today of just over 45,000 pounds and a drag index with the B model Bullpups of 66. Interestingly, it would be almost 10 points more with the C models, but again, not worrying about them today. It's just interesting that the larger missiles were not only heavier, but actually caused more drag. So, rather interesting, but 66 for today, and basically what that means is we're going to be climbing up to 29,000 feet today for optimal cruise, and we'll be climbing at Mach 0.86 as well as cruising at 8.6, although actually probably go a little bit faster because of our need to get on location sooner. A couple of things with the Bullpups is that last mission I had just assumed essentially that they had no speed limits because they're high-speed missiles, they're missile-shaped, they're aerodynamic, so I just kind of assumed that that was the case. Turns out that while aerodynamically they might not have a limit, they do have a thermal limit. So the heat created from going quickly, from going very fast, does give them a limit of 550 knots. So we can't exceed that. The Sidewinders have a similar limit as well. So it's not the aerodynamics that's bad for them, it's a thermal limit. And the Sidewinders in particular, actually, they have a speed limit that you can exceed by 50 knots for 10 minutes. And if you do exceed it, they would have to inspect the missile because it could have been damaged. Again, not something we have to worry about today. I was just perusing through the manual once again, and just some interesting stuff that I found there. So I made more notes of that, wrote that down for further discussion. But with the Bullpups, we are limited to 550, and actually launching speed is a maximum of 450. So when we're firing these suckers, we can't just be pedal to the metal, guns blazing. We got to make sure that we're less than 450 in order for them to work properly. Alright, busting out of the clouds now. 96 miles to go to waypoint 3. And we're just going to continue on up to 29,000 feet for that cruise. And in fact, while we're doing that, why don't we have a look around Vietnam today and see who else is out here, because I was not able to track down the strike flight that is also heading to Bac Giang. So I don't know who it's actually going to be. I saw some random A4s that are attacking some power plants and some other targets. So let's see who's out here. Here is Ford 11. You can see just coming off the carrier in the background. These are F8 Crusaders on escort duty with the 4 Sidewinders. And here is Dallas Flight, which looks like 8 A4 Skyhawks, which is what I had briefly seen in the map. So they are on their way to Chu Lai, I think. I think they're striking a power plant there. Yeah, and there's Dallas calling in now. So they're airborne. So they just took off. We may or may not see them. They may be too far away for us to interact with, but not our strike flight. Actually, that's it for the moment. And so because we are a Iron Hand, they've launched us a little before the rest of the flight, so we're kind of alone out here for a little bit. Here comes the rest of Gopher Flight. Well, 2's in position. 3 and 4 are a little further behind, but they're going to catch up. The AI does not really consume fuel as far as I can tell. I've never had one run out of fuel, so they may call bingo, but I'm okay with letting them use extra fuel to catch up to me as long as I'm going to be out in front and on time. Taking a look at the map here, we're also going to be on the lookout for possible escort flights for us. Not clear if we'll get one, as the escorts usually go with the strike package themselves, with the strike flights. But you never know, we might get someone coming over this way. So far, whole lot of nothing though. Alright, we've got another flight off. Here's Dagger Flight. Let's go see what they are. Oh, and Crab is up too. They're new. Alright, Crab is more A4s on a different target. Actually, perhaps these are our strike aircraft. I don't know if I remember seeing Crab. It's only 4 of them. It's not the 8. Oh no, correction. There's 4 more back. No, this is a big 8 aircraft strike flight as well. Okay, well, I don't remember offhand where they're going. Alright, Dagger Flight is more escort F8s. Our buddies over in VF211 once again. And back to Gopher. We're well in the clear now, so let's go ahead and secure those nav lights. Now here's a thought I had regarding these early Iron Hand flights, which is when we're down there, there may be an inclination to attack SAM sites if we were to see them. You know, either the Fansong radars or maybe the launchers themselves. And in the game world, that would be perfectly acceptable. Historically, realistically speaking, though, this is still early enough that such a move, an unauthorized attack on a SAM site, is a good way to end your career. That would be a court-martialable offense. Recalling that at this time, all targets were issued directly from the White House, from LBJ himself and McNamara, and anything that was not on that list was verboten, not to attack. And the SAM sites were especially prickly because the White House's fear at this time, the main problem with Rolling Thunder as a whole, is that they were ruled by their fear of drawing in the Soviets or the Chinese, as had happened in Korea. And of course, who was running the SAM sites at this time? Well, it was Soviets. It was Russian soldiers, almost exclusively, were still manning the launch sites. They were training the North Vietnamese, and perhaps some at this point had been trained up enough to actually be active duty using them, and even if not primarily, you still had Soviet advisors all over the site, and so the thought of just attacking a SAM site and possibly killing Soviet citizens was a very scary proposition, because it, at least in the eyes of LBJ and McNamara, could have been a thing that led directly to widening the conflict into a world war, right? Bringing in the other communist countries in retaliation for killing their soldiers, even though, interestingly, at this point, Soviets were directly killing American pilots. That's a very interesting thing to sort of think about and remember here in the Vietnam War. One of the few times where direct conflict between the two superpowers was actually taking place in an undeclared war, or in an undeclared way, I should say. Now, earlier in the summer, back in July, I think it would have been, of '65, was the Operation Spring High calamity, which was when F-105s were first allowed to actually go attack a SAM site, and they did so even though the operation had been compromised. The North Vietnamese knew that they were coming, had moved all of the missiles and launching equipment, and used the sites as decoys by moving in AAA all around them. The North Vietnamese knew the Americans were coming, and the Americans knew that the North Vietnamese knew, and yet the raid went on as scheduled anyways, for fear of losing face, or possibly of compromising the fact that Americans were reading the North Vietnamese mail, intercepting their radio communications, deciphering their codes, all that. So, despite all that, the F-105s were ordered in anyways and dropped bombs on telephone poles and empty SAM sites, and many pilots were killed, F-105s were lost. So that would have been back in, like I said, back in the summer, and we're now in October, so we're a few months removed from that, but we're certainly not late enough that wild weasels are on the scene and indiscriminately attacking SAMs. I think at this point, we are still very limited in our ability to just target SAMs on our own, on our own volition, under our own free will. So, in keeping with that, we're going to lay off any SAM sites for the time being. We're just going to stick to AAA on this mission, and for the foreseeable future, at least for a little bit. And then eventually, those targets will be opened up, and we'll be able to get in on the action and start knocking those out. In 1965, here at the end of '65, the CIA estimated that North Vietnam had 30 SAM sites scattered throughout the country. No more than a few of them were active at one time, because the SAMs were very mobile, and anytime a reconnaissance plane would fly over a SAM site that was set up, they would essentially pack up shop and then move out to a new site. So by the time that any strikes did arrive, there was nothing there. And that happened all the time. So while the SA-2s required a pre-made site to be set up for them to move into and then deploy to, they weren't completely mobile in the fact that you could just put them out in a field. They had all these pre-made bunker launching areas, but there was so many of them that they had their pick of where they wanted to go, and that's why the American airmen never knew what area around Hanoi would be active on a particular day.
Lead, Red Crown, Bogies, 12 o'clock, 50 miles, Angel 5, heading northwest.
All right, we're 106 miles to our initial point here, and we just got a call for MiGs up over the capital area out ahead of us. Drop tank's nearly empty there, and we're just cruising at, what is that, Mach 88. Just keeping it at full military power for the moment. I think to be as clean as possible coming into the heavy AAA zone, we're going to dump the tanks once they're empty. Go in a little bit cleaner today.
Crab 1, Red Crown, copy.
Just above 10,000 pounds of fuel as the, you can see in the bottom there, the outer ring is total fuel, and the inner arcs are the drop tanks. So the two upper arcs would be the pylons. Of course, we don't have any today, so those started at 0, but the center one is our center pylon, which is now coming down. We've gone through that 650 gallons nearly, if it's not empty already. And once we get a little bit closer, perhaps as we start the descent, I will order drop tanks jettisoned. Here's what I think we'll do today. As we're coming in on the target, I will try to find a AAA target of some kind, and I will order number 2 in on that, and then I'll find myself a separate second target to fire these Bullpups at, and then we'll tell 3 and 4 to just attack independently. So between the 4 of us, I'm hoping that will keep the AAA busy enough to not be able to concentrate on any one plane. The game often sends us in as only a 2-aircraft attack force doing these Iron Hand, which I have found through the years is really ineffective. With only 2 planes, they tend to shoot both of us down fairly quickly. So with the 4-man crew, we all tend to survive better, and is also more historically accurate. They would take in the 4-ship F-105 flight to suppress ground fire. 4 is still lagging behind, but I bet he's going to catch up once we get into the dive. Okay, let's see. Looks like forward flight, which I believe was those F-8s, they are peeling off to the north. Crab flight is down in front of us, heading to their initial point. What are we at? Okay, we're under 50 miles, I think. The time is nigh to head on down. So, Flight 1, I want you to drop tanks. And there goes mine as well. Cleaned up the plane a little bit. Wing leveler disengaged. We begin our descent. We'll pull the power back a little bit to save some of that fuel, but we're going to let the speed come right up. Come up to around 500 knots for the descent. Is still behind us somewhere, still lagging. We'll bring the throttle back and let him catch up. Maybe we'll aim for more like 400 knots. Then we can really put the hammer down once we get low. Okay, we just descended out of contrail altitude. I saw him disappear behind us. Double check that the Bullpup A's are selected, and they are. There's the Red River on the radar in front of us. We're going to be coming right between Vietri and Futo today, so we should minimize the amount of AAA by going right through the center of the 2 cities. Hopefully that will be the case. Okay, Ford is out ahead of us chasing MiGs, it looks like, and Crab is actually right down to our right, down below the cloud cover, down in the thunderstorms, which we are now just hitting the tops of. Okay, we're in it. In real life, coming down into these thunder bumpers like this, we'd probably be getting tossed around by some crazy turbulence, but don't have to worry about that in the game here at the moment. Look at all that. You can see all of the returns from ground units that are just scattered all over. Big concentration to the left in the city. Actually, a couple ahead of us. Let's be on the lookout for those. Idle throttle, just pushing right over. Let's get down and fast. Wow, lightning striking just behind us to the right there. Watch that speed. There's our 550 limit coming up fast. We are slick today. With these missiles and the drop tanks gone, the planes are going really, really fast. It's nice. Alright, starting to level out, coming back up on the throttle. 24 miles from Thud Ridge out in front of us.
25 miles. Angel 10, heading northwest.
Red ground. Dagger lead. Pass waypoint 5.
Dagger 1. Red crown.
Okay, wing
Copy
leveler
that.
on. Four is still lagging. Yeah, look how low my throttle is, and I'm actually not losing speed. In fact, I'm still accelerating towards 550, so we're going to pull it way back. We're down to 80% RPM, and was at just at 1.5 on the ratio gauge. There's the Red River. Down to 13 miles on the radar. There, you can see bits and bobs off to our left. Over the river. Autopilot off. Let's begin a little bit of defensive weaving. Yep. Oh, look at that. It's like I read their minds. Alright, back up on the power because we're losing a little bit of speed here. And let's try to get through the flak nest pretty quick here. SAMs are painting friendlies. People are picking up spikes out over the capital region.
Red ground. Taxi. 5 minutes to our target.
Wolfpack 1. Red crown. Copy.
Red ground. Crab speed. 5 minutes to our target.
Crab 1. Red crown. Copy that.
Hurc 2.
Come on, guys. Keep up with me. Oh, there's a MiG down. Somebody picked up one. Very nice. Screaming around the side of Tamdo Mountains here. 3 miles out from the waypoint. I'm just going to manually move us on to waypoint 5. Begin our turn around the mountain. Out to the north. There's the SAM. They're active.
I see them. Target hit. Bandit.
Let the nose drop back down through the horizon in this turn. We're picking up a little bit of altitude through it.
I'm taking damage.
Roll out.
Dallas lead. We're under attack. Requesting immediate assistance.
There we go, just on target.
Red crown. Copy.
Back down to 1,000 feet. Level it out. Take stock of everybody. I only see 3 at the moment.
I'm hit.
Oof, more friendlies getting hit.
Target destroyed.
A MiG taken out in return.
I'm hit.
Oh boy. Creeping up. We are right just under the wire here. Whoa! And a bit of a flak nest right over the top of that.
Dallas 1. Red crown. Copy that.
Miles away.
Oh shit, tracer's out right there, 12 o'clock low.
Red ground. Dallas lead. We're coming under attack. Request.
Pass him already?
Dallas 1. Red crown. Copy.
Good.
Okay, I think we went past him.
Sam off.
Okay, I see the Cow River up ahead on the radar. Actually, this is the... Who is this? I think this is the Cow River to my left. Yeah, so we're going to cross over to the far side of it, and then we're going to start looking for targets.
I see them.
Alright, big concentration here, actually. Interesting. Not so much on this side. We've got a bridge coming out of the haze out in front of us. We're going to pick it up, and actually I'm going to order Flight 1, engage ground.
1, 3's in hot.
Wow, 3 is in hot already. Excellent.
Gun. Red
There's
ground.
some...
Fast lead.
We got a... Wow! Jesus, rockets right over the top of us.
I'm out of gun ammo.
2 just fired.
3's out. Box 2. Alright. Target destroyed. Rocket. 1, 3's in hot.
Outstanding. Look at this. Massive destruction right out of the gate. Alright, I'm going to circle back around and look for that fire can.
Stand low.
That is a radar that is directing the AAA. That's not a SAM radar, but is a fire control radar for these AAA units. I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to turn this on. Oh! Did someone else get it? I think one of our guys just actually destroyed it. Oh, no. There it is. Alright, let's try this here. First bullpup is away. Ah, I feel like we're too close. Too close. Damn it. Ah, that was stupid. Okay. Hold on, I gotta give myself more distance. I gotta fire from further away. Remember that in real life, these missiles are being controlled manually by the pilot. We don't see it here in this game, but it's basically a small joystick, a square joystick on the side console that you control the missile with. It sends radio control inputs to the missile, and you follow it down using a flare. Here in the game, it simulates that by actually having a tracker warhead, which has a range of about 8 miles. Here we go. So we're at 3 miles out. Pipper is right on the target, and I want to keep it there.
Good job.
Rifle. Missiles away. And I don't see it. It's not working. Here goes another one. There we go. That one is also low. All right. This is not going to hit either. Unbelievable. Oh my god.
Attacking your target. 1,
I just heard a MiG. We're under MiG attack.
2's in hot.
Shh. I'm going vertical. Switching over to guns. Oh, Lordy B. Where is this dude?
2's off. Jack. Red crown. Crash lead. Passing.
Man, we are slow over the top here.
1, red crown. Copy that.
1, 3's out. Red crown. Pass lead. Passing. Waypoint 7.
Pass 1, red crown.
Alright.
Copy.
Alright, friendly wingmen picking up flak. All around. Actually, you know what?
2's in hot.
Oh, never mind. 2's in hot on that fire can. I'm just gonna stay wide. He's up there somewhere.
Bombs away. 2's off.
Did 2 have bombs? I actually didn't even remember that. I don't think he did.
Damn it down.
Whoa, massive hit out there from bombs.
Bombs away.
Actually, that could be from our people. They did have snake eyes on them. Alright, where the hell is this? We keep losing the Oh, hello. Very nice. No hits, though, apparently. We are not picking up that fire can anymore, huh? Nope. Alright, B. Hey, I want everyone to attack my target. Let's just get this thing and then get going out of here, alright? Alright, I don't know what 2 is attacking, but it is not this target. The air brakes on the way in. Pulling up through the target. Is that enough to get the job done? It is! Outstanding. Alright, why don't we get... Oh, there's an airbase right there. How's our fuel situation? Down to about 5,000 pounds. Still plenty of AAA. Let's go around. Alright. Rejoin, everybody. Rejoin. Rejoin. Ooh, got a bunch of targets on the radar here. Air targets. Close. Okay, it's a friendly. Based on the flak. Alright, loving all the plumes of smoke down there. Lots of targets hit on this one. Actually, you know what? We are completely clean. We have nothing left on us. We are going to beat feet out of here. There's full power on the afterburner. Back to ground map mode. I heard that MiG, but never saw him. Let's get the hell out of here, though, before he figures out where we went. Let's go, 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 go. There we go. There's a Mach 1. Right about there. We just went supersonic over the Cow River. Once again, on the way out, we're down to 4,000 pounds of fuel. Since we can't do a refueling, like in real life, we will have to manage this fuel guzzling speed a little bit, but let's give it a few more seconds to get us out of the combat zone. Oh my god, Gopher is... They are scattered all over to hell and gone. Okay, come on guys. Close up. All 3 wingmen still with me. Thud Ridge to my left, we're 7 miles to go. I'm actually going to come off the afterburner and just go on mill power. Now we got to start saving some of this precious juice.
I've got a spike.
Manually switching over to waypoint 7. I'm going to start the turn around the west edge of the mountain range. Just keep it nice and low G so we don't scrub too much speed. We'll go nice and wide here to keep the speed up. And there we go. Whoa, jeez. Snapping it back into position there on the rollout. Ooh, SAMs are still active back there. Luckily, we never saw them. None were aimed at us specifically. Though we did get a little taste of MiG action, even though I never actually physically saw him, but he was behind me somewhere. It seems like the Immelman up into the sky was enough to dissuade him from following me, I guess. I will take it. Gopher just coming around backside of the mountain. Oh, because we're over the top of the city here. The course is taking us directly over Futo. Or no, I'm sorry. Oh, Jesus. South end of Via Tree. See that? Oh, man, I watched that tracer go right by the canopy. Let's keep positive. Jeez, let's roll this sucker back down. Into low level. But we are on the far side of the river. Look at all that flak behind us. I'm a little worried that the wingmen are not going to be so speedy through there. They may be exposing themselves to high amounts of flak. Alright, good enough. Let's start the climb. Let's check in on these suckers. Here's two. They're getting some stray shots here, but boy. Flak is tracking him for sure. Tracers are a little bit off, but the flak seems a little more accurate. Hopefully they'll just get out of it soon. Oh boy, this is going to be close. We may have to do a little bit of video game magic here to simulate an air-to-air refueling, but going to resort to it just yet. Lightning's still all around. Heavy, heavy, heavy rains.
Red Crown, Crab, Passing, reporting.
Crab, 1. Red Crown. Copy that.
Alright, if we get down to 1,000 pounds of fuel, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Alt-N, which is the quick command to advance the flight to the next waypoint, which in this case would be home base. And the sneaky part about that is when you do that, it's an instant transport that does not take fuel usage into account, so you arrive at the waypoint with the exact same amount of fuel you had when you left. So it's just a little sneaky trick. I don't think I've used it once in any of my videos, but it is an option to fall back on, because this was a good mission, and I would hate to just have to redo it again. I mean, alternately, I could just hit escape and end the mission in the air, too, and it would count. I mean, hell, I could have done that and then filmed a landing sequence and then never even told you guys. And maybe you wouldn't even know, but, you know, sometimes you gotta do stuff like that to make good videos. It's a little bit of movie magic. I'm a movie maker, after all. Yeah, we're getting pretty close. We're continuing the climb up to, like, 30,000 feet. That'll help with the fuel efficiency. And then at idle on the way down, it's possible that we could actually, you know, stretch our fuel out. We could always do the Korean War trick of turning off our engine and gliding back from enemy lines, and then restarting the engine on approach. The F-86 guys did that a lot. At one point, going up into China to fight Chinese MiGs, even though they weren't supposed to, they would run out of fuel, essentially, because they would fight for so long, and so they would climb on the way back, and then shut down their engines, and then glide back over into friendly territory, and then, like I said, relight on approach and then land. Which, considering the engines of the time, and I feel like the high propensity for flameouts, or, of course, if they're off, the inability to do an air restart that's a tricky proposition, but happened all the time. And it wasn't just scrubs either. This was like the war's top aces were doing this. This is how they were racking up their kills. It was the sort of the secret, not so secret forays into China up over the top of the North Korean border. All right, there is 30,000 feet. Let's throttle way back as we're just at 1,000 pounds.
Copy that.
Let the altitude come down. That's good enough. All right, wing leveler is on. Just over 1,000 pounds of fuel. There's all the guys behind us. You know, it's weird, every now and then we get these missions where the AI just does not keep up with the formation for some reason. They just won't use speed or
Copy that.
do what they could do to get into formation. And they just, I don't know, they take weird weird routes sometimes. This seems to be one of those missions. But no one got killed and we destroyed a ton of stuff. So yeah. Pretty good. Pretty good. So even if their flying's a little wonky, they got the job done. Alright, here's what we're going to do now. Let's go ahead and turn on our nav lights. This will help get the guys into position as well. We're going to go ahead and advance to the next waypoint. Outstanding, we find ourselves 10 miles away from the initial point to land. Out ahead of us, so hey, how about that? There's all the wingies. Okay, let's get around 350. So, somewhere over Laos, we hooked up with one of the tanker circles, and we each got a little bit of fuel. We took on just a bit to get us home, and then, of course, the rest of the trip back to Thailand was uneventful, so no need to show you that. So we just skip here to landing, and it is poor conditions out, so no overhead 360. We're going to be on instruments all the way in here. Alright, contacting tower. Go with terrain avoidance mode on the old radar. And here comes our waypoint.
Gopher 1. Tower, wind, 240 at 5, runway 18 in use. Gopher 1, tower, wind, 240 at 5, clear to land.
I thought that they were returning to base. Return to base, please.
Return to base.
Do not fly into me. Jeez. Now, where was I? Air brakes out. Actually, let's put them out. There's 250. Keeping the air brakes out, we're going to come up on the power, keep the RPM on the engine nice and high. Speaking of high, we're a bit high and a bit fast. Let that speed keep coming down to 180 as we approach the threshold. Bit of power as we bring the nose up. Letting the VSI come out. We want a nice smooth touchdown here. Chop the throttle and let it settle gracefully onto the runway, and then we'll hold that 10 degrees up nose for as long as we can for aerodynamic braking. Air brake is still out. We would be popping the chute right now, and there's the nose wheel down. I almost called it the tail wheel. Been flying a lot of War Thunder lately. With the World War II planes, there's brakes. Flaps are back up in. We will taxi clear at the 2,000 yard mark. 2,000 foot mark, I guess. 1,000 feet markers. Right here. And that is going to conclude today's mission, October the 5th. We are well clear of the run. We're going to roll down here. Don't want the pouring rain to come into the cockpit, so no opening the canopy today. We'll just keep the lid sealed until we get over to parking. But that is going to do it. Let's shut down the plane, get out of the rain, and I will see you in the debriefing. Alright, y'all, back in the dry here. Let's take a look at how we did today. Objective was to suppress enemy air defenses around Bac Giang POL storage, attack enemy radars, air defense positions in the area. Flight time was 1 hour, 21 minutes, and 13 seconds. Result was 4 primary targets were destroyed, 1 F-105 was damaged. And that's just primary targets. We did additional damage beyond that. Rating of success, score of 300. So, not great, but maybe because, again, I myself did not get some of the hits. I failed you again. All 4 Bullpups were complete misses. Which sucks, because like I said, I did a training, actually I did 2 training flights where I got all 8, I was 8 out of 8 hits on the Bullpups. Here in this mission, maybe just was not paying enough attention, maybe. Maybe my attention split too many ways between flying, ordering wingmen, trying to talk, not fly into the ground, etc., etc. So, c'est la vie. We'll try the Bullpups again at another time, I'm sure. Here's the stats. Again, there's those Bullpup. No hits. I got 2 hits, though, and a kill with the Vulcan, which was that fire can radar. I really wanted to knock that out before we got out of there, because every one of those that we destroy is significantly more detrimental to the North Vietnamese than a single gun, because that's a radar that is directing guns. So, you know, that's one more radar that needs to be shipped in from the Soviet Union. Second Lieutenant Lamberry number 2, he got 2 gun kills and 2 Bullpup kills, so he fired all 4, 50% hit rate. So things were not going great for him either, but at least he got the 2 kills. All 4 of mine just failed today. You know, or maybe firing too close to the targets. Again, poor setup may have been the problem there. Weather may have been a factor. First Lieutenant Ko fired 38 rockets and got a kill. Dropped 8 Snake Eyes for no kills. We actually saw that. We saw the Snake Eyes hitting the 500-pounders. And we saw Kittinger's bombs hit as well, although neither one of them hit anything, but I don't know. I'm happy when they expend all their ammunition. He did get a Vulcan kill and a rocket kill, though. So everyone, I'm quite happy with everyone. Despite the strange flying, like I said, their actual combat record is exemplary. I'm very pleased with that. I like when the AI do good and we can get everybody home. Not to belabor the log too much, because there's a lot going on, but we can take a look at some highlights, perhaps. Code destroyed that S-60 AAA. Oh, interesting. So at 121, Second Lieutenant Lamberry actually hit the fire can radar with a Bullpup. So if you recall, I ordered him on the way in to attack the fire can, and then when I swung around, I thought it had deselected, but he had actually destroyed it, which means that we killed 2 fire cans on this outing, because he got one, and then I got one with guns later. That is awesome. I'm real pleased about that. Here's all these rockets fired. Oh, okay, so here's Bradley. Here's me. I'm firing at the fire can for a miss. And I think I fired again. I made a desperation shot way too close. Maybe that was later, and I should not have done that. Shouldn't have done that. Lamberry destroyed a ZPU-4. Ah, with the Bullpup. So here's another Lamberry Bullpup. So that was his second kill with it. Kittinger rockets a ZPU-1. Interesting. So Lamberry fired a Bullpup at the fire can, and then I fired a Bullpup at the fire can, and actually both of them failed to track. Which is curious. Ah, and there... Okay, that was at 123. That was the Hail Mary shot, which I should have been more disciplined and not taken. I was just getting frustrated, I think, that they were now not working for the actual recording, of course. Isn't that always how it happens? Things go great until you try to record a video, and then everything just falls apart. You look like an idiot. Okay. Ah, holy moly. Here was the close shave. At 123, a J5 Fresco came in from out of nowhere and fired at me, and I was able to luckily maneuver away and not get hit by that. I heard the engine and the rounds being fired at the last minute and pulled up. Never saw him, though, and then he apparently was content to separate from me and go elsewhere. Oh, this is curious. Second Lieutenant Lamberry. He fired guns at a fire can radar. So we actually destroyed 3 fire can radars. How about that? Here's the snake eyes going out. Here's all this fire. And here's Bradley. Here I am hitting that 3rd radar with the Vulcan and destroying it. So here I was thinking that the game was just deselecting these targets. They were actually getting destroyed behind my back. Didn't realize it. That's great, though. Great. Oh my god, here's a 4th one. Holy shit, man, we were on fire against these fire cans. That is amazing. So yes, North Vietnam has thousands of anti-aircraft guns, and losses are minimal in the big picture of things, because even when we destroy some in an area, they quickly replace them. But these fire... I just feel like the radars are a little bit harder to come by, and if that means that, you know, a strike tomorrow into the same area is going to be safer because we took out 4 of the radars that would otherwise be directing fire at them, I feel real good about that. So that makes me very happy with this mission. This is mission number 15. How about that? Continuing on our saga. 1 air-to-air, 22 ground kills, and everyone made it back alive. All right, that is the end of this episode. A little bit of up and down, hit or miss. Miss specifically with Bullpup air-to-ground self-guided missiles. But we'll try them again maybe on a nicer day when I can see things further away and, you know, they're not affected by the moisture so much. I'm definitely still gonna lean on that as an excuse, even though it's probably just mostly me. So thanks for coming along on this one. Thank you for your patience. Like I said, not getting a video out last week, and not that I want to be beholden to clockwork video releases, but, you know, I tried, and I just felt ill. I just didn't feel great, and then the winds got taken out of my sails when the game just crashed and I lost everything. Would have had to start over with a new mission anyways. So, yeah, this one I'll get out as soon as possible. This is a Wednesday that I'm recording this, so probably by Friday. I bet I could work tomorrow on this and put it together. And I'm going to record some more pretty soon, hopefully in a big block, and then we'll just have some on hand to, you know, to put out there. And I want to do a block of these missions actually, and then I want to move over to the RAF again because I love the RAF campaign, and I want to get back to it. So we can expect that in the near future. All right, have a great rest of your day or night, and I will see y'all later.